Hey everybody, Ace Liam here and welcome to the latest episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form or a branched evolution or counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between the Pokemon in question and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome Battle between those Pokemon just for a little bit of fun. Honestly, it's not a serious battle. It's Metronome, it doesn't matter. If you're already a fan of Form Fight and you know how it works, hit the like button, show your appreciation for the series, and of course hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. With all that out the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. Today on Form Fight, we're going to be having a look at the two forms of Sharpedo, which are Sharpedo and Mega Sharpedo. Now, when you have a Sharpedo in your party, it will always be in its regular form. However, a Sharpedo holding Sharpedo Knight will be able to Mega Evolve into Mega Sharpedo during a battle and will remain that way for the entirety of that battle. What makes these two forms of Sharpedo so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, regular Sharpedo is 1.8 meters tall. I assume that's from the tip of its bottom fin to the tip of its top fin, and weighs 88.8 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says that people believe that carrying one of its discarded fangs will help prevent mishaps at sea, so the fangs are made into accessories. It drinks in seawater and jets it from its rear to propel itself. It's very sensitive to the scent of blood. It literally sharts itself through the water. That's dreadful. As for Mega Sharpedo, it's 2.5 meters tall and weighs 130.3 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says the yellow patterns it bears are old scars. The energy from Mega Evolution runs through them, causing it sharp pain and suffering. The moment it charges into its opponent, sharp spikes pop out of Sharpedo's head, leaving its opponent with deep wounds. Appearance-wise, both forms of Sharpedo obviously resemble sharks, however without the rear half of the body, with blue colouring on the top with yellow star shapes on their heads and white underbellies, with Mega Sharpedo having additional spikes and additional yellow markings. In their shiny forms, both forms of Sharpedo switch their blue coloration to a kind of fuchsia purple kind of colour, and it looks bloody lovely. Now let's have a look at the typing, weaknesses and resistances of these Pokemon forms. Both forms of Sharpedo are dual type water and dark Pokemon, making them weak to fighting, bug, grass, electric and fairy type attacks. They both resist ghost, steel, fire, water, ice and dark type moves, and both forms of Sharpedo are completely immune to psychic type attacks. Now let's have a look at the stats and abilities of these Pokemon forms. Sharpedo is a quick Pokemon with decent special attack and, as you'd expect from a shark, fantastic physical attack. However, it is extremely fragile. Its primary ability is Rough Skin, which causes an opponent using a contact move to take damage equal to 1/8 of its maximum HP. This is great for chipping away at a tricky opponent, however, as we said before, Sharpedo is very fragile, so often it can only handle taking 1 or 2 hits, meaning it won't be a massive detriment to your opponents, especially if they simply use non-contact moves. Sharpedo's hidden ability is Speed Boost, which raises Sharpedo's speed 1 stage at the end of each turn. This of course is the best ability for Sharpedo, since given how low its defenses are, it's better for it to outspeed opponents so it can dish out some punishment before it's taken out. Mega Sharpedo gains a tiny little bit of bulk compared to regular Sharpedo, although nothing you can bank on. It also gains a little bit of extra special attack, but most importantly, it gets an increase to both its speed and its already impressive physical attack. And couple that with its ability, and this Pokemon becomes very dangerous. That ability is Strong Jaw, which increases the power of Mega Sharpedo's biting moves by 50%. Giving extra power to moves like Ice Fang, Psychic Fangs and Poison Fang, as well as turning Crunch into a 120 base power stab move, which remember also has a 20% chance of lowering an opponent's physical defense. When Mega Sharpedo is on the field, it's best to take it out as soon as possible. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two forms of Sharpedo I prefer, and easily, it's a combination of the two, because I love Mega Sharpedo and that is the version I will always use in battle, but you kinda need your regular speed boost Sharpedo to be there for a couple of turns, maybe 1 turn, maybe 2 turns if you're really lucky, to really get some speed behind Mega Sharpedo and make it even more deadly. The trick is use Protect on the first turn, or if you're cheeky like me, use Crunch on the first turn because they'll be expecting Protect, and then Protect on the second turn, then get Mega Sharpedo, then Mega Evolve. That's the easy strategy, and it seems to work for me, seems to work for a lot of people. Just make your Pokemon Mega Evolve after getting 1 or 2 speed boosts, and then Mega Sharpedo is even more incredible. That's the easy strat for Mega Sharpedo, and it's the reason that I like Mega Sharpedo just that little bit more. I feel like there's a bit too much going on, like the yellow scars are a little bit too much design. It's like, it's trying to make a Pokemon look like a Mega Evolution for Mega Evolution's sake, if that makes sense. Like, oh, we don't have any ideas how to make Mega Sharpedo a thing, so we'll just put more yellow on it. didn't really work for me, but hey. It does still look cool, and it's still a fantastic Pokemon to use in battle, so I'm going to go with Mega Sharpedo all the way, but after it gets set up by the regular. But of course, it's not just up to me to decide which of these are my favorite, it's up to you guys to decide which is your favorite. But before you decide, let's see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome Battle. Before we get started, I will point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, there are no held items, they've got neutral natures, they've got the same typing. The only advantage or disadvantage any of these Pokemon gets comes from their base stats. Everything else is all up to the Metronome. Let's go. And here we go, it's Sharpedo versus Sharpedo, the battle of the underwater terrors. Let's get this thing underway in this episode of Form Fight. This could be a quick one, because these are very strong Pokemon with very, very low defenses. Here we see Shiny Mega Sharpedo starting things off. The Mega team will have the speed advantage at the start of the battle, but Sharpedo will slowly build up a speed advantage with the speed boost ability, although dropping the speed with that mud shot was a great play by the Megas, buying themselves a little bit more time. Here's regular Mega with an Ingrain, increasing its staying power on the field by restoring its HP each turn once it's taken some damage. Shiny Sharpedo is going to start things off for its side, and what's it going to go for? It's going to go for a bite, so it's going to go for a stab, but not very effective bite. Unfortunately, because it's moving after Shiny Sharpedo, it's not going to be able to get a flinch on there. That's a little bit of a shame. Here's a Steel Wing, though, from the regular Sharpedo onto the regular Mega for a tiny bit of not very effective damage. Is going to get the increase in defense, though. Very lucky with that Steel Wing. That's going to benefit that Sharpedo going forward, and there is the HP restore from the Ingrain and the speed boost on both the Sharpedo there to finish the turn. Will this give the Sharpedo team the speed advantage now, or at least the Shiny, who is, Shiny Sharpedo is at +1 speed, therefore will move first, and it's going to go for rest, but it's at full HP, so a wasted turn. Of course, regular Sharpedo won't move yet because it's at -1 speed, although now it's at 0 speed, regular speed, you know what I mean. Here's Laser Focus coming out from Shiny Sharpedo, concentrating intensely, ready for that critical hit, and here comes the regular Mega. What will it do here? It's going to go for Metal Claw. Again, not very effective. Going to do a little bit of damage there, bringing that regular Sharpedo down to less than half its max HP. Now it gets to move, and it will be at +1 speed next turn and able to outspeed the Mega team. There's a knockoff. It is Stab. It's not very effective, though, and there is the HP restore from the Ingrain roots of the Mega Sharpedo. There's Shiny Sharpedo's speed boost, which will activate it up to +2, I believe, now, and then regular Sharpedo is now at +1 speed. So both Sharpedo will move before their regular counterparts. Here comes Shiny Sharpedo with a Psycho Shift, which is going to fail. Very unfortunate there, not being able to take advantage of the increased speed. There is regular Sharpedo with Misty Terrain, which at this point of the game I don't think is that beneficial. I really think you should be going for some attacks right now, because these Mega Sharpedo have barely seen a touch this battle. Here's regular Mega going for Solar Blade, needs to be taken care of very quickly. It's going to absorb light this turn. You know that's going to be a one-hit KO on one of these Sharpedo if they don't take out that Mega that's about to use Solar Blade. Here's a Vacuum Wave, and thanks to that thanks to the Laser Focus critical hit, which means it's going to do massive damage, and that means that I know what Laser Focus does finally. So finally I can get a date for prom, because finally I know something the Pokemon move does. Hell yeah. Do you love me now, Dad? Oh, good lord. Finally, there you go, comment section. Pick up another move that I don't know the use of. Here's Shiny Sharpedo going for a Shadow Punch. Here it is. Tiny damage, of course. Not very effective on the Dark-type Shiny Mega Sharpedo. Here's the regular Sharpedo, who's going to go for Peck, which won't do a great deal of damage, but is enough to bring Shiny Mega down to less than half its maximum HP, as it looks to retaliate with Powder. So if any Fire-type move is used by the Shiny Sharpedo, it's going to take a little bit of damage itself. But here comes the Solar Blade from the big boy. Who's it going to be on? Which Sharpedo? It's on the Shiny, guaranteed to take that one out. Massive damage. You've got to think that would have taken out the regular Sharpedo as well, as Mega Sharpedo just takes a little bit more HP back there. The speed boost happens like it even matters at this point for regular Sharpedo, sitting at half of its max HP. You got to think one hit and this guy's going down. What's it going to do? Goes for Embargo, a waste of a turn, blocking the use of items that this Pokemon just does not have. Now the Mega both have free range to do whatever they want to this regular Sharpedo. Regular Mega goes for Miracle Eye, guaranteeing that Psychic type attacks can hit the Dark type regular Sharpedo. And I see Miracle Eye actually being used on the correct kind of Pokemon. And here is Mirror Shot, Not going to be very effective from the shiny Sharpedo there, but still doing a decent amount of damage to regular Sharpedo. But regular Sharpedo still in this, still has an opportunity. Really, with the speed boost, could probably do with something like an Electro Ball or something like that right now to give it a little bit more of an edge. But you gotta think it's on borrowed time right now. It needs a miracle. Gonna go for Cut. That is very much not a miracle, as every Zigzagoon ever used in a playthrough could tell you. And here is regular Mega Sharpedo going for Electric Terrain. Things are getting dangerous up in here. Now it's time for shiny Mega Sharpedo to follow up on that attack, I suppose. What's it gonna go for now that the terrain has changed to the Electric Terrain? Gonna go for Struggle Bug. That is gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. That's gotta be. There it is. 0 hit points. Down goes regular Sharpedo. Absolutely floored by the Mega Team. I mean, we kind of knew that Mega Sharpedo was gonna win that very, very easily. Well done to the Mega Team. You did great. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of the two forms of Sharpedo is your favourite? Is it Sharpedo or Mega Sharpedo? Let me know in the comments and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And of course, that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Form Fight. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel like these wonderful people down here do, you can pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrainerLiam. And of course, for live streams 5 days a week, head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainerLiam. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.